You're listening to Making Money Online with Lisa Johnson, the podcast that tells you what it really takes to build a business and the simple steps to get you there. I'm determined to share with you the reality of easy, simple business marketing tips to make passive income so that you can start making money online. Would you like somebody else to take care of the sales in your business? Well, with the brand new sales agency from Charlie Day, you can. It's not just another sales agency, it's a game changer. Founded by dynamic, experienced businesswoman Charlie, they are rewriting the rule of sales. At SalesMade, they seamlessly integrate into your business team, prioritize customer relationships, and close your sales. With a team of specialized sales strategists who've all received the Charlie Day training and a range of packages, they are here to revolutionize your sales process. Say goodbye to pushy closes and sleazy tactics. They believe in sales with integrity, and their mission is simple: to bring more sales to your business with honesty and authenticity. Go and check them out now with the link in the show notes. Hello and welcome to today's episode. I'm bringing back a guest that's been on before, but for good reason. So I'm bringing back Charlie Day. Now, Charlie is the sponsor of this month's podcast, as you probably have already heard. But Charlie started something in the industry that I haven't seen before. And so I wanted to talk about it and talk about why. So welcome back to the podcast, Charlie.
Thank you. I'm so honoured to have a second interview. What an honour.
I want to talk about, I've seen you start this agency. And what's different about it is that it's an all-female sales agency. Now, I was looking around thinking, oh, that's good. I haven't seen anyone do that before. And actually, when I've looked into sales agencies before, they're all men. There isn't actually a female on the team. What's going on?
It's crazy. And this has been my whole experience of sales. You know, I will go to sales conferences and I'm the only female in the room. And sometimes I get asked to speak at these conferences because I'm the only female. You know, there's a white male bro marketing lineup and then me. And it's so odd to me because I think the best salespeople are great at listening, great at asking questions and uncovering problems, great at relationship building. And historically, I feel like that is way more suited to females than it is males. But on the flip side, I feel like sales has got such a bad rep that people think it's scary, it's pushy, it's sleazy, it's too much. They don't want to be associated to it. So women have sort of shied away from it.
That's because we've all been on the end of that sales person that is usually male, that is doing that usual thing where they go, well, you know, what will change in your life in 5 years if you don't do this? And it's like a script and everyone's like, oh, come on, like we've heard all this before. That's why people don't want to do it, because they don't want to be doing this stuff that they feel is sleazy.
And that's exactly why I started the agency, because I know loads of female business owners in the space who are doing phenomenal things, who would never hire one of those agencies that are out there, because that isn't the way that they do sales in their business. But the problem is you get to a point with your business where you can't grow and scale it anymore because you can't possibly get the reach for the lead gen and the closing and all the things. So unless you're to hire a sales team in-house, which I don't know anybody in the online space who has a sales team. Unless you're to do that, your only other option is to hire an agency in and contract those people. But when you look at that option, it's all very bro. And also, can I just say one thing about the female thing? Because it's actually not, and our mission is to create the most diverse sales team. I have always felt in the minority. You know, I love Disney and Pink, and salespeople is full of men in suits. So I've always felt very different, but I've always felt like, I don't know if I can say this, but sort of better in a way, because I think it's more relatable and like people get it more. But I don't think it matters if you're a man or a woman or anything in between. You can be a great salesperson no matter what, your race, your religion. I don't care. All I care is that you've got a willing attitude and that you're ready to listen to people, ask questions, and build relationships. And so as I build out this sales team, you know, and let's imagine that I've got 20 people selling for me, I'll have some men on my team for sure. And I'll have people who aren't men or women on my team. I want a big cross section of people. But what I can always guarantee to you, Lisa, is that I will not have anybody who does sleazy, pushy, bro markety shit that I don't like.
It's why we didn't do it. So like, I know that we need salespeople. Like, I've always known that. And how we've ended up doing it, especially for one-to-many, is by taking some people that have done one-to-many and doing it as a sort of concierge sales team, because I know I need salespeople, but it terrifies me that I'm going to have these people. Like, I've been to sales things where, I'm trying to be tactful, where once I sign up, I get a call every single day pushing me to buy a ticket for the next event. You know, I've been to all of those things where it's like run to the back of the room. I've seen all of the manipulative ways that these people sell. Like, even up to the, I don't massively like the, well, if you don't sign up now while I'm on the call, some bonus goes. And it's like, hold on a minute, I've just had a call with you to find out, and now you're pushing me to buy something right now, and I'm going to get buyer's remorse if you do that anyway. And I've seen that so many times that it terrified me that if I was to bring on a sales team, I would then be seen as like that, and I don't want to be like that. I do want a sales team, but when I looked, I honestly couldn't find anyone that was in the same integrity level that we are. And I know that we are higher than most on integrity, but I think that sales teams should work for you, whatever your values are.
100%. And that's what we aim to do. So we want to be, each of our clients get a sales associate from my team who's heading up their sales in their business. So they've got other sales associates that they can access, but you'll get one main point of call. And the reason that we do that is because that person is going to learn your brand guidelines, learn your tone of voice, learn the way that you want things to do. You know, I love following up, and we are relentless at following up at Charlie Day Sales. But if the client doesn't want us to be as relentless, we won't be, because it's got to fit in with their business. You know, we might tell them our statistics of how many people sign up on the 7th follow-up, but, you know, ultimately it has got to fit in with them. And one of the things that we say in our business, and I think this has been in control of the sale, is go away and think about it, Lisa. I don't want you to make a decision on this call, because I want to make sure you make the right decision. And this is a big decision. So go away and think about it, have a chat with someone, and then I'll follow up with you tomorrow. And if it's the right thing, brilliant, jump in. And if it's not, that's okay as well.
That's so much a better way, because it makes people feel like they're in control of the decision and they're not being pushed into something, which I think is really important, because when people start working with someone, they don't want to feel like they resent that. They want to feel like they're really happy to, they're really excited to start something with you. And as soon as you push someone into it, it doesn't work. Why do you think people are afraid of sales?
I think people don't like rejection. I think rejection's really, really hard, really tough. To be a great salesperson, you have to have resilience and tenacity. And I talk about collecting the no's. So can we have 10 no's today? If we can get 10 no's, then I bet there's going to be two yeses in there as well. But ultimately, you are going to hear more no's than yeses. And we've been conditioned from an early age that, you know, people saying no to us is horrible. People rejecting us, they don't want us. But you know, there is no company in the world that has 100% conversion rate. So especially, you know, in the online space, it's much, much smaller than that. Some people convert at 1%, which is why we need much bigger numbers. But you can imagine if you're converting at 1%, even if you've got, you know, 1 million people, so you're going to have a great launch, brilliant, you're still going to hear a hell of a lot of no's.
And actually, I want no's. So with the team that I have in place for one-to-many, if they came to me and said, we got 100% of the people on the call to sign up, I would know that they weren't doing that ethically. Because if somebody's not right for something, I want them to know they're not right for it, you know, and there's a better version over there, or, you know, you don't have the money right now, well, I'd rather than you didn't invest. Like, we have those kind of ethics. And so we tell our salespeople to turn people away. And so when they come to me with 60%, 70% success rate, I know that that's a job really done well.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
No, and that's the thing, isn't it? It's growing that tenacity and that resilience. You've just got to get used to hearing the word no, because it's going to come more often. So the quicker you can get used to that, the better. The number one thing I hear people say to me is, you're too expensive. You're too expensive for me, especially because I've gone on a journey from, helping mums with the side hustle to helping like multi-seven-figure entrepreneurs. I get it. Like I 100% get it. But if I'm too expensive for you, then you're not the right client for me. So that's why I'm doing things like my sales strategist diploma, to create loads of other sales strategists, so that then I can say, I'm not right for you. 100% not right for you, but I've got another sales strategist who's perfect for you. And actually, some of those sales strategists that are coming up, I've got one who is an expert in high ticket sales, one that's an expert in corporate sales, one that's an expert in membership sales. So actually, I can pick the exact right strategist for what you need. So I think there's so much power in saying, do you know what, Lisa? I'm not right for you. You need this type of person. And actually, I can connect you with them. The client has so much respect for you when you do that.
Absolutely. And it's brilliant that you are training other people to be good salespeople. And it means that, you're sharing, because not everybody's going to come to your agency. Some people are going to want to do it themselves and learn. And that's what we do as a strategist. I want people to learn how to become their own strategists, so they don't need to pay me. That's the ultimate aim, that there are so many people that understand strategy out there, and you're doing the same with sales, which is brilliant. At what stage do you think in an entrepreneur lifespan should people be using a sales agency? Do they have to wait? Can they do it from the beginning?
So what I would say, what I would love, this is my perfect ideal world, is that everybody first off learns how to sell themselves. I think it's so important. Like, sales is the lifeblood of your business. And if you are a company of one, solopreneur, you need to figure it out yourself. You are head of sales. Welcome to day one of your new job. Let's go. I think that you need to figure out how to do it yourself, so that, because ultimately that's what's going to get your business going, right? So I think once you have developed a product that sells very well, and you've got it organically going quite well, that is the point to scale up your sales through an agency. So it's like, we've got this proven model that works, and now we're going to get loads of people involved to make it 10x the results. So I wouldn't do it straight away. I think probably, like, it's so generic to talk about turnover, but like in my space, 250K, let's go with the sales agency.
Because then at that point that if you're making 250K, you've got an offer that does sell, and it sells well, and the messaging is right, and all of that kind of stuff. So you're then just like really putting the magnitude on it, the scale on it. Yeah.
When I started, I thought that everybody, I thought anybody who was turning over upwards of 500K just had a really solid sales strategy and knew exactly what they were doing. And then I started to get some clients. And I remember like my first client who was sort of ahead of me. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, like what the heck does she think that I'm going to teach her? Like, she's turning over double what I'm turning over. And I got in, I had a conversation, and I was like sort of really nervous. And I realized she didn't have a clue. She wasn't any of the stuff that I was doing. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, holy smokes, we could really make this business incredible if she just put a sales strategy in. And I find that all of the time, I work with these phenomenal business owners, and they somehow, I don't know, hats off to them, because I don't know how they've done it. They've grown their business to high multi-six, 7 figures, no sales strategy whatsoever. And then we come and put a sales strategy in, and we fly.
Which is brilliant. And actually, what you do that I think most people don't think about, including me, you do a kind of consistent, let's look at the lead. So like whenever we have a sales and strategy or anything like that, you're like, okay, well, let's sell something right now. And everyone sort of freezes and goes, what? Like, what do you mean sell something right now? And you're always like, well, you can sell anything at any time to somebody. Let's do it now. And I think people forget that, because we're so used now in the online space to be going, right, we grow an audience. And yes, you do have to grow an audience if you want to sell things like courses, but actually you can't just stop and wait until that audience is big enough to sell a course. You're a business, you have to sell all the time. And you're really good at that, telling people that part.
Yeah, what are we selling today? Like, what are we selling today? Sales needs to happen every single day. Your business is the sales that you make. So let's get out there and make. I see so many people. What I'm doing today, Charlie, is updating the website. Like, unless it's a sales button on the website, click to buy, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, obviously, if you're a designer watching it, I'm not saying that websites aren't important, because they are. But I just find a lot of people faff around with updating copy, pretty Canva images, creating this curated content. Sell something.
Okay, so let's say I'm a new business person. I haven't grown an audience. Who am I selling to?
Everybody's got an audience. Every single person has got an audience. Like, start putting it out on social. And I guarantee that you've got 100 followers on Instagram. It's easy to get 100 followers on Instagram. If you haven't got 100 followers on Instagram, get 100 followers on Instagram. That's super easy. You can do that today. And then tomorrow, sell to those 100 people. Yeah. And it's like every time someone comes into my audience, I'm like, hey, Lisa, thanks for joining my group. Hope you enjoy it. If you've got any other business friends who want to multiply their sales, invite them in. And just by asking that question, loads of people then bring other people in. So if you did that with, you know, your friends and your family, like, do you know anybody who, you know, fill in the blank of whatever your business is, needs any hand cream? Because I am selling this hand cream and I'm trying to find 10 people today who need more hand cream. Anybody? Can you think of anybody? I got a voice note yesterday from somebody who was going to sort out my podcast for me. But anyway, I don't need her anymore. And I explained the reason for why. And I was like, thank you very much. I'll always recommend you. Like, well done for following up. Really, like, great job. But I'm not interested. Thanks. And she voice noted me back saying, that's absolutely fine. Like, here if you need me. If you've got anybody else who you know who does a podcast, who you think their business is growing quite quickly, so they might need someone to take over that podcast and start editing it, I'd love for you to just give me their name. And I was just like,
That's a
I was
great thing.
racking my brain for her. I was thinking, yeah, who can I give her? Because that is just so bloody brilliant. And nobody does that stuff. Nobody.
No, they don't. And I think people don't even sell every day, if I'm honest. Like, we sell every day. Like, my one thing is that I have to make some money every day. Like, otherwise, what am I doing? So we do sell every day. And people often say to me, well, what if you've got nothing out at the moment? And I'm like, if I wanted to make money, so an example, I wanted to get my pool refurbished. I wasn't selling anything during that summer because I was away. But then I was like, I need to get the pool refurbished. I need like 50 grand. And so I just sold something. I was like, okay, well, what can I make today that I can put out there for 2 or 3 people that will make me 50 grand? And that's what I did. And just put it out there to my personal Facebook and just said, hey, this is what I've got. Who needs this?
That's the thing, isn't it? You could just sell to one person. So you don't need a massive audience. You could just sell one thing. So if you want to make £1,000 today, put out an £1,000 product. Boom. Go. Make it up. Make it like irresistible. Make it something that everybody who's, you know, got the problem that you solve would want, and make it a no-brainer for them to buy. I do it when I'm on a long-haul flight on the way home, getting ready to pay for my next holiday. I'm like, right, going to make 10K on this flight. Let's go. Just for fun.
Yeah, because you can create things for people. And I believe in co-creating anyway. So if you ask your audience, what do you need from me? And they tell you, sell it to them.
Yeah.
It makes the most sense.
I would say if you're listening to this and you don't have something for sale today, why the heck not?
You just create it now.
Yeah, you need to have something in your business to sell every single day. You're in the business of business. You're here to make money. I think so many people see it as a hobby, a fun thing. Like, I never went into business thinking, oh, this will be fun. This will be easy. This will be different. I thought, I want to create generational wealth. I want to leave a legacy. I want to create something phenomenal. I'm going to work my ass off until I get there. And I don't, if I'm honest, I don't see that many people in the space doing that. And I think we all need to raise our baseline and just go out there, make the sales and smash your targets.
Yeah, and have targets in the first place.
Well, absolutely have targets in the first place. Are you telling me there's people out there without sales targets? Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Have targets every month. Break them down to weekly, daily targets. Where are you aiming? Where are you going? I went to the world's biggest sales conference in Miami recently. And I've never felt so skint in a room in my entire life. I bought the cheapest seats. They were £3,000, bought the cheapest seats in the room. It's £35,000 to sit on the front row. And I was just like, they didn't actually sell to me because I was so, like, my turnover for them was so low. They were like, oh, I think you could probably go to the $1 million breakfast if you want to. And then they came to me and they were like, yeah, that's our lowest breakfast. We might be able to squeeze you into the 1.5 because it's dollars, not. And I was just like, oh my God, like, and they give you a lanyard so they know basically how much you turn over. What a genius idea. And then they're just basically selling to the people on the front row. Anyway, all that being said, they were getting like their students up on stage, being like, hey, Lisa, when you started working with us, how much were you turning over? And they're like, we were turning over 4 million when we started working with you. And how much are you turning over now? 28 million. And everyone's like, what? And I've literally never been in a room where, and then they were talking about like their 5-year plan and they were talking about billions. I don't even know how to write $1 billion down. I was like, my mind was blown, honestly. And I just thought, in the UK, everybody is aiming for 6 figures. This is a conversation I have with all of my clients. Now,
think bigger.
But like not even just a little bit bigger, so much bigger. Like, let's raise our baseline to 7 figures just as a small little thing.
But is this because of how we are with money in general? Like, when I shout about how much money I've made in America, I get applauded for it, and someone will ask me how I did it. If I shout about how much money I make here, well, you saw in the Sun this week, I get absolutely lambasted because I'm dared to talk about money.
Yeah, I think we've got to be the change that we want to see, right? But I was thinking about this on the way home because I was like, right, I wanted to build a business that was worth 10 million. That was always my goal. And I'd sort of reverse engineered that to when when I was 42, I think it was, that I was going to hit that. And then I was like, oh my God, Charlie, like, why are you thinking so low? But then, like, I'm laughing now because if I told like my friends and family, like, so I just raised the baseline and I'm now going for 100 million, they'd be like, who do you know that turns over 100 million? And I'm like, well, I don't know them yet, but I'm going to get to know them because that's where I'm headed.
I know some.
Yeah, well, exactly. Let's go. Introduce me. But I think, just because you don't know them yet, well, I used to not know people who run a 10 million pound business, but now I have, found some people on the way. So I just think, imagine, right? Let's imagine that I fail epically. I've just said on Lisa Johnson's podcast that I'm going to turn over a business that's 100 million. Let's say I'm going to give myself till I'm 50 to run this business that's 100 million. I'm only 35 now, so I've got a lot of time, I feel. So I feel like that's doable, right?
Yeah.
But let's imagine that I fail epically and you're there going, ha ha, aren't you an idiot? You failed. I mean, even if I failed by 50%, I would still run a business that was 50 million. Yeah. So I feel like it wouldn't feel like that much of a failure. So, rather than going for the 6 figures and getting halfway there and being at 50 grand, let's go for the 7 figures and get halfway there.
Yeah.
And,
it's the shoot for the moon and you might reach the stars thing. Yeah, and always, this is why I tell people to have stretch targets all the time, because if you don't have stretch targets, you will hit what you think you will hit. And I see people say, well, I want to earn, I don't know, £50,000 this year because last year I earned 48,000. And so they know they can do it. And that's not a stretch target. Like, we have to try, and we won't always hit it. I didn't hit my target last year. It's okay. I got further to it than I would have done if I didn't put that target in.
Yeah, no, and I don't really think we should be hitting our targets in a way. If you do hit your targets, it's too safe. I always have like bronze, silver, and gold targets. Can I ask you a question? I know that's not like really the setup of a podcast, but why do you think it is that people aim so low?
I think, when you said that you were scared, that people are scared of rejection, I think people are terrified even more of failure. And they think that if they don't hit a target, they have failed in some way. And we've been brought up to believe that failure is bad, when actually failure is not bad at all. And those of us that are making money and are having these massively stretched targets, we don't care about failure. In one of my presentations that I constantly give about the CEO thinking mindset, the biggest thing is that we don't see failure in the same way. And as soon as that changes, you will take bigger risks. You will put bigger targets in. You will do things you wouldn't have done before, because if it doesn't matter if you fail, you can at least try. But if you're so scared of failure that you won't try, you've already failed.
I had this conversation with one of my sales associates this week, and she said to me, I'm just so worried that I'm going to let you down. And I was like, first of all, you're not going to let me down, because let's assume you're always going to try your best, right? But also, I'll probably let you down at some point, or something will go wrong. Like, something will definitely go wrong. If I'm going to build a business up to 100 million, something will definitely go wrong. We'll disappoint somebody. We'll have some bad press. Like, something will go wrong. Yeah. So if we just all get our heads around that now, something's going to go wrong. I will mess something up. You will always try your best, but sometimes that might not be good enough. Like, we just got to get that out on the table and be like, we're growing the biggest, most diverse sales team. Things are going to go wrong along the way.
They will.
And it is scary.
But it's okay for it to go. This is why I tell people to live life as if they've already been cancelled. Because if you don't do that, then you are literally living life on someone else's terms. And I refuse to do that.
I mean, you know me. I've like, I'm sitting here all like cocky and confident. But I wasn't always. And I see people in the space, they're waiting for me to fuck up. They can't wait. Yeah. There are people out there who hope, and this is an awful thing to say, but I know it to be true, that hope that this doesn't work out for me.
Oh, me too. Yeah, we're always going to have that.
And like, if you'd have told me 4 years ago that I'd just be okay with that, and I'd be like, cool, let's see who's right, you or me. I would never have believed you, but you do just sort of have to get over it.
Yeah, you do. And the quicker you do it, the quicker you're going to make the money you want to make.
100%.
Amazing. I've loved this conversation. Thank you for coming back onto the podcast. If you want to see me and Charlie in action together, we have a sales and strategy day in London on the 12th of June. There are some tickets left. I'll put the link in the show notes. But if you are thinking, do you know what, I want to learn about sales myself, or I need someone else to do this stuff for me, where is the best place for them to find you, Charlie?
So you can come and hang out with me on Instagram. That's like my favorite place. I am Charlie Day Sales on Instagram. I also run my community on Facebook. Sales is easy if you just know how. But my agency is called Sales Made the Agency, and you can find Sales Made the Agency on Instagram as well. So come send me a message, tell me what you're selling today. Come and sell to me. Like, I probably need what you're selling. So come and sell to me. I'm the worst buyer. Like, I just buy everything. I love everything. So, come and sell to me and let's see how it goes.
Brilliant. We will put all of those links in the show notes as well. Thank you for listening as usual. Thanks for being here, Charlie. I will see you all next week for another episode of Making Money Online. Thank you for listening to Making Money Online with Lisa Johnson. If you'd like to get hold of my guide to launching, go to lisajohnson.com/launch and let's get you making money online.